Well, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's good to see so many people in the house already. And let me just grab my hot chocolate. I have some hot chocolate with me because I'm cold. I'm chilly. It's chilly and rainy. This is our third day of rain, of continuous rain from Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. And I know it's we're nothing compared to Southern Florida and South Carolina and stuff. But yeah, it's just, rainy, chilly, it's cold, and I want the rain to stop. So, let me just say, I want to welcome everyone here and I want to thank you for being here. I know y'all could do other things on a Sunday night, but I sure am grateful that you've joined me this evening or this afternoon, whichever. It's evening for me. So I want to give a shout out to Creative Redundancy. They were first in the house this evening. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Everybody give a shout out to Creative Redundancy. Hands in the air. Yeah, 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 yeah. He was first one here. Okay. And what else did I want to say? I want to welcome our moderators tonight, which we have Van City Prepper in the house. We have Prepping by Faith. Who else do we have? Are those the two moderators we have? Nope, we have the Bigs Prep. If you didn't know that, I gave you a wrench, Biggs Prep. Go, Cynthia. We've got that. Who else? So I said Van City, and well, Groovy Pop Tart is apartment prepper. She's usually a moderator, so maybe I should. I thought I put you on as a moderator, but oh well, that one's not coming out. So I want to say hello to our friends. This is Subscriber Sunday. This is for you. This is our little chat time that we can have together. And so I want to thank you all for being here. We have Creative Redundancy. Hello. And we have Michelle J. Thank you for being here. I know that you're going to be listening. So everybody, whoop whoop. Hello, Michelle. Let's see. The Bigs Prep. So glad you're here tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Rita is in the house. Did you take your trash out to the curb? Van City Prepper. Let's see. Groovy Pop Tart. And let's see, who else do we have? Did I get everybody? LG. LG, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you being on the stream today. And let's see, who else do we have? I'm scrolling through. Nene, Miss Nene's Prepping Kitchen is here. Prepping by Faith is here. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Who else? Rachel Holmes. Hello. Y'all say hello to Rachel Holmes. I've known Rachel for a very long time, and this is quite a surprise to see you here this evening. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else do we have? The Digital Prepper. Thank you for being here. And there we go. I think I have everybody. I hope I do anyway. But it's so good to see you guys. And if this is not your thing, I hope you just give me just a minute here. I wanted to just take a moment and say a prayer for those in Florida and also in South Carolina. And if you would just let me take a minute and pray for those people that, have to deal with the aftermath and the cleanup and the repairs and the help. And also, I wanted to let y'all know that our church is sending a recovery. Well, I don't want to say recovery team. That sounds awful, but a disaster relief team. That's what I was looking for, down to Florida, and they're going to be going in a couple weeks to go down there and help with disaster relief. So I want to praise God for our church team members that are going to be going. But I'm going to take a moment and just pray. If you can just hit the mute button if you don't want to listen. Okay. I just want to thank you, Lord, for protecting those and keeping people safe. We were praying for a lot of people in Florida and South Carolina. We have family members and friends, prepping friends, people in the prepping community. And I just want to thank you for granting safety. And now for those, Lord, that are having to deal with the aftermath, picking up, cleaning up, repairing, and also going through mental toll and stress and financial stress. And I just, Lord, We just ask that you wrap your arms around them, lift them up, give them strength and courage, mental fortitude to deal with the things that they're going to be dealing with. I pray, Lord, that this would be a time that people would come together as a community and help each other out. Lord, we just ask that you bless the efforts, bless the rescue teams, and people that are going to be going down there to these locations and helping out. And just, Lord, ask that you give those people protection as well. And we just thank you for what you will do, and we love you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for letting me do that. All right. Um, so thank you. Thank you. And so now I am actually wanting to get into some of the things that I did this week, um, or the last week, I should say, of the what is this, Hurricane Preparedness Month. Oh my goodness. And I want to get over here. I'm trying to get my thing going up here. Here we go. So on my YouTube channel, for the last week of hurricane preparedness, or hurricane, listen, I've got hurricane on the brain. For National Preparedness Month, I had some questions and just took a poll for the last week. And so the first question I had up there was, how much food do you have on hand for you and your family? And we had 60 votes, if you could see that right there. We had 60 votes, and out of those votes, we had 53% said they had 6 months or more. We had 3 months or more at 17%. We had 23% of the votes said they had 1 month. We had 2% that said they had 1 to 2 weeks. And then we had 5% that said they had 3 days or less. And so the good news I see here is that we had a good majority of people that had 1 month, 3 months, 6 months of food on hand for you and your family. So that is wonderful. And we also had, oh, I can't access. Oh, wait, yes, I can. Here we go. So we had a couple people that commented. We had Uncle Al said he's old school, been prepared since 1982. And Nate also said that he had about 2 months on hand right now, and he said it's something now. So that is good. I'm excited to hear about that. And so if you didn't take part in the poll, what is your answer on this? What do you have? Whoops. Here we go. How much water? Whoops, got to come back down here. Okay. Sorry, screen sharing is fun. I get all turned around and everything. Thank you for sharing links, Van City. And Nene's Prepping Kitchen. You guys are great. Let's see. The Digital Prepper says half or a whole year is the goal, but I'd say I'd start with at least 3 months. Yes, that's very good. That's about what I did. When I did a recent kind of like a inventory of all the stuff that I had, and I was trying to, figure out what do I have. There are some things that I have almost a year on, and then there are other things that I have about 6 months on for my family of 5. That's a big task trying to take that on. That's okay, creative redundancy. If you missed the poll, that's all right. Sometimes the stuff on the community tab just doesn't show on people's pages. So let's see. Hello. Oh shoot. There we go. The one whom Jesus I can't see this. This thing is blocking it. The one whom Jesus loves, praying for those who lost their lives, may they rest in peace. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right. And I saw that Martin was in the house. Good to see you tonight. The Digital Prepper, I currently have about 6 months so far, and Creative Redundancy says not including frozen or fresh stuff. Yeah, actually I haven't even gotten into what I had in the freezer yet. So that's still an ongoing thing for me, is inventorying my stuff. I would say that for the most part, I have anywhere from 3 to 6 months. But I'm really glad to see that a lot of people actually have 6 months or more. Rita says, I have enough for at least 2 years for just me, but several friends that I will share with. Awesome. Yes, we have some stuff that we can help out some people with. But I have to say, we may not. We have enough for my family. So, anybody else have any more? Whoops. Anybody else have any other answers for that? Oh gosh, you guys are all sharing each other's channels. A lot of good people here in the house tonight. Thank you. So if you're not subscribed, if you're new here tonight, or if you're not subscribed to any of these channels, go subscribe and follow them and watch their videos because they have a wealth of information from cooking with your preps, lots of recipe ideas. I've learned so much in the last year that I've been on this channel and following y'all and learning all, how to just come up with some creative meals with things that are in our pantry because we're going to need to know how to do this stuff. And you've got other people who are teaching about anything from, oh my gosh, water, like water filtration, storing up water, to how to use your survival gear, things to think about. Everybody's talking about lots of new stuff in the news, and we got to get ourselves thinking about things, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do these questions. Um, what is this? What do we have here? Creative redundancy based on 2,000 calories. It's 730,000 calories per year. What is that? Did I miss something up there? Nene says, I'm trying to prep for family that isn't. It can be a challenge. Yes. Have about a year as long. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, do what you can, Nene's Prepping Kitchen. Absolutely. Every little bit helps. Welcome, Heroic Prepper. Thank you for being here tonight. And so I'll just go ahead and move on to the next question, the next poll question that we had. And that was, how much water do you have stored for your family? This was a big question. Can I click on this? Here we go. Click on the comments. Here we go. All right. So out of 45 votes, we had 47% say that they had 1 month or more of storage per person. And so if you don't know what the typical rule is for storing water, is 1 gallon per person per day. Okay. And that is just for drinking and maybe doing some things, not necessarily cooking. You're going to need more if you have to use water to cook. And I'm going to tell you something. I made potato chowder this evening for my family of 5. Now I made a bigger batch, but I had to use an entire gallon of water for that. And so those are things that you need to keep in mind. How much water do you need for cooking? Um, how much water does each member of your family drink? Right now, we're not as active, and it's not summertime and hot out, so we're not drinking as much. But, I can tell you that, my son drinks about half a gallon a day on the regular. Um, and that's a lot of water to me, but that might be, I don't know, everybody's water needs are different, but that's a good rule of thumb to go by, is 1 gallon of water per day per person. All right, I'm trying to look at different things for the chat. Sorry. All right, so we had 31% say they had about 1 to 2 weeks of water stored for their family. There are some people that said they had 3 days worth on hand. That was 18%, and 4% said what water storage. And I'm really hoping that that's just kind of a, maybe someone's not real serious there, but let that be. If that was you that answered that question, you're like, what water storage? You should start storing water right now. Just buying a few extra gallons of water, a few cases of water from the store would be good to start with. And Uncle Al brought up the IBC totes, and he said, see Linda's Prepping Kitchen. She has 2. And Linda's Prepping Kitchen does have, I saw her set up those IBC totes for storing water outside, and I think that is super cool. I don't have any of those, but I'm glad that she was able to get those. Um, there are some other people that have mentioned that they're using any used water bottles or containers for storing up water. And I will say, you want to be careful. Just a reminder, watch the water jugs. If you're using the 1 gallon jugs that you would buy milk in, or already bottled, or water that's already stored up in a gallon, Just make sure those are a number one and on the recycling symbol, and they are not necessarily the sturdiest of containers. Now, if it's short-term storage, that might be one thing. Because I have a lot of those that I use for my distilled water, and we go through distilled water fast because we use it in our coffee makers, our we have humidifiers, CPAP machines, those kinds of things. And so we go through distilled water quickly. And so I will refill those gallon jugs with the distilled water that I make. Um, but if you can use a number two, so that might be the water jugs that you get from maybe the Dollar Tree that's got the what is that, the geyser or something, or the Deer Park ones. They have some that are in the 1 gallon containers and they're sturdier. Those are the number two. And if you clean those out, if it's got something else in it, like maybe juice, make sure that you clean them out really well with, good hot soapy water, rinse them out, sanitize them, let them air dry, and then you can store your tap water in that and store your tap water in a cool, dark place. And that way you'll be able to, use it if you have, a water issue. And that was something else I just discovered today. I was listening to some news, and Jackson, Mississippi. Y'all know about the water situation that Jackson, Mississippi has had. I didn't realize it was going on so long. They have been under a boil water status for the last 2 years. I only thought it was just recently, but the last 2 years, they've had to boil their water. Can you imagine having to boil your water? I mean, I understand it's in, like, an emergency situation, but they've been doing it for the last 2 years, and that's just crazy. And if so, you never know if there's a situation that comes up that's gonna require you to boil water for an extended period of time. It would be good to have these all of this water stored up so you don't necessarily have to, boil your water and hope that you get it all. you know oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just jumping back into some of the comments. I know I missed a lot. LG says, I put filtered water into a reused water jug and it got moldy or algae inside after just a month. So these are some things, yes, that you have to watch your water, okay, and rotate it. It needs to be in a dark place. It needs to be in a temperature controlled environment. So yes, you do have to watch that and make sure that it's um um what I want to say taken care of so that stuff like this doesn't happen. So I don't know. I can't answer what happened there, but I only know with my experience of having some things get moldy or algae is that there's too much of a temperature change. And that's with my hydroponics that I have on my indoor gardens. And they'll get they're like little algae and moldy kind of things that will get on top of the little growth medium that I have. And if that happens, then that means that there's been an adjustment in temperature and the water levels. Now, I know the water levels don't change in your gallons of water, but there's something there about temperature that's involved as well. So that could be why that happened. I don't know. I'm not a water expert. Um, this is very true. You can't boil lead out of water, which is why you should have some water filters that would take out those contaminants. And I did not bring it up here. I have a Seychelles filter, and they if you were to use a Seychelles water, so I have a water bottle that has the filter inside it, and so you can just use that tap water, and it will filter out all things like that. Lead, it'll filter out 90% of fluoride. It filters out even radiological particles like radon 222, I think is what it was. It filters out a lot of those kinds of things. So that might be something you want to look into. And I'm actually going to be giving away a Seychelles water bottle, and I'm going to be doing that this week. So let's see, what else do we have here? Whoop, let's get this out of the way. Yes, this is exactly why we do these things. LG says, I'm glad I'm testing it out now while I have plenty of water so I can figure out a solution. Yes, this is so important to be doing this now, because if you can realize, like, okay, well, I can't store it there, so I might have to store it here, and so that's very good. This is why we need to do this stuff now. Um, Hello, little house in the big woods. Okay, what is this? What is this? I don't know what this is answering to. 2 years, that's a long time for it to not be in the news. Oh, yes, the Jackson. I only knew that there was an issue with the water because, and there's also that the Flint, Michigan, they had that big water fiasco as well. But yeah, you can't I, I've never heard anything more about it, but I was just like I said, I was listening to some of this earlier and yeah, 2 years is a very long time. Let's see, prepping by faith. Look up the correct amount of bleach to add to that water and test it again to see if it will last longer. Excellent tip because if you've got things to treat your water, you can help with that and make sure that you can get some of that mold and algae out. I'm looking into pre-filter options to maybe extend the life of real filters. Yes, that's actually good as well. Trying to maximize your filters to the best possible, so you can get the longest life out of them. Little House says we have water filters on our water because of high iron. Yes, that is a big thing. Do you have well water? Because sometimes that could be the cause of high iron, but I don't know. We have city water. We are not on a well. Anything else we have here? Okay, I cover water with a dark bag too. That's actually a good tip too, just to make sure that it stays dark so that there's no exposure to light. Um, Good job. I wonder, I'm coming back to this comment. I'm sorry. I'm wondering if it's because it was filtered water and then did the filtered water take out chlorine? Because if I'm wondering, because like, if I'm storing tap water already has, like, chlorine in it, and I'm wondering if the chlorine will help keep the algae and things out while it's being stored. I'm just thinking out loud here, y'all let me know what you think. I don't know, it was just kind of, ooh, we have some big comments here. Okay, Van City, also try to replace bleach every 6 months, it degrades. That Yes, very much. So if you're trying to use bleach, make sure you guys are writing your dates, like, like when you open your thing. So, like, if you open your bleach, write the date that you open it. Also, write the expiration date and keep those. Write it real big and in a Sharpie, write it real big so you can see it. And so that, because you need to know if you need to try to disinfect something or treat some water and you've got bleach that's expired, it's not going to do what you really need it to do in the time that you need it. So yeah, do keep up on that, okay? Keep up with your bleach. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, B&MJ Noodles. Welcome. I had not welcomed you to the chat this evening. Thank you. This happened to this water bottle I had. For some reason, putting aluminum foil under the cap works, at least so far. Also, to make sure your caps don't have metal substance. If they do, then use foil. Okay, so this is interesting. So, are you putting aluminum foil under, was it a screw top bottle or, was it something that kind of pressed on? Because like, some of the jugs that I have for water have, like, a lid that presses on versus screwing on, and it was plastic, so I'm wondering, this is interesting. Are you guys all talking about this and I'm just not seeing it? Yeah, Jackson has had water issues for about 4 years at least, not necessarily the boil water, but the infrastructure has needed repairs for years. Right, and you know what? And our Congress administration, whatever, they voted, was it 20 million to fix Jackson's water issues, when there were other reports from people who are there in Jackson that said they would need something like in the billions to completely overhaul it. And I'm wondering, why not just replace the whole thing? I mean, we're trying to fix something that has been probably old And, old, same thing with Flint. It's probably like the original system, and you need to how about, overhauling it and putting in something new? But I don't know, why, we have billions going out of this country. God forbid we put money into our own country. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Oh gosh. Okay, the Bigs Prep. She says we recycle the water in our store jugs about every 6 months. Yes, that's what I have as a rotation. I marked to check. Although I think I'm kind of anal about this, you guys, because of course I'm in the basement every day. I have to go through the basement to let my dogs outside. Um, so I'm always down there checking. I'm checking if there's might be little critters. This is the time of year that we might get a little mouse that might find its way into our basement. So we've already set up some traps, but I've already made sure that I had storage, where I've had things tightly sealed in totes and bags and all kinds of things. I got things sealed up, so anyway, yes, schedule time either once a month, put it on a calendar, you guys. Excuse me. Put it on a calendar, use your phone, use your calendar app in your phone or your little reminders or just plain old paper and pen on a calendar, write it down, first of the month, check the preps. Every 3 months, check your water or every 6 months, rotate, make sure you're rotating everything. We have to be doing that because we spend so much time and energy, organizing and getting these things together and shopping and storing, and we don't want to lose any of it, to just to being, ignorant or irresponsible. And I don't mean that to be insulting at all, but just irresponsible because we're not paying attention. It's one thing, this has been my thing here lately, to have things that you go out and you acquire. You Let's say you go out and you get some IBC totes, or you're going to get something smaller for what you need, and you're going to get maybe some 5-gallon jugs to store water in, and you have them but you never use them, so let's not be that type of prepper who is acquiring the things and then they just come in your house and they sit and you don't use them, you don't test them, you don't just open them up to see how they work, you know that reminds me. Okay, you guys, okay, a little bit of story time here. We have my daughter and I are going, my youngest daughter, the one that I still am schooling, I homeschool. But we are going camping in 2 weeks with our American Heritage Girls Troop. So she and I went last year, and I think we were the only ones outside of our troop coordinator that knew how to camp. We had a severe storm come through, and I really thought we were having a tornado. It was one of those straight line winds that came through, and we had to go into an emergency shelter for a little bit. And when we got back to our campsite, mind you, we're in this huge open area. We were all camping. It's a big camporee with several troops from around the DC metro area. And we had this straight line wind come through and then all this rain, and it completely demolished tents in our campsite, except for mine and my troop coordinators. My daughter and I had that thing locked down. We had everything stored in a waterproof tote, and our tent was left standing, and so was our troop coordinators, and everyone else's tents had blown over. I'm not even sure. I don't think that they were completely damaged, but they were completely rained in. They were flooded. All of their things were flooded, and I felt so bad for them, and why am I saying all of this? Why was I saying all of that? Oh, we were going into story time and now I got off on a tangent. Because of testing supplies. And there were some women that got there, some moms that got there and didn't know how to set up their tents because they didn't actually go through the process before they came. They watched how the tent was set up, they read the directions, but they never actually did it. Or one woman, she brought a Coleman propane stove, and when I went to open it and use it, she goes, "Oh, I never used it. I don't know what to do." And she just like handed it off to me. So she had it, but she didn't know how to use it. And so I was I was taking some time to try to educate some of the moms on how to use the things. Anyway, we are going again, and it's the 12-day countdown. We're not into 10 days countdown yet, but we are getting close there. So I deviated. So thank you for listening to my little story. Okay. We're back onto the water thing. Yes, Little House said that we have a well water in an area heavily mined in the 1860s. Okay, that would wow. Okay, you can store prepping by faces. You can store gravel, sand, and activated carbon to help filter out larger particles. Yes, and that is something I've always wanted to do is actually build a filtering system using those things like gravel, sand, and charcoal and that kind of stuff, and using different layers. That's on a long-term goal, but it's something that I have wanted to try to do. Right. I don't know if it filters out chlorine. One of the Seychelles filter that I have, it does filter out chlorine. I think I said that already, and 90% of the fluoride, which is why I like it so much. Um, so we have a house generator, so you don't have to turn it on. Okay, so don't have to turn on generator when not needed. Okay. Okay, let's see. Thank you for reminding everyone the Bigs Prep um to hit that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so foil under the cap and then screwing the cap on over it. Okay, this is interesting to know. I'm going to write this down and keep in my notes. Yeah, 20 million is just a drop in the bucket that's needed. Yep. Just to like that's just worthless. Like, thank you so much for the breadcrumb of help. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little sassy. Time to move on. Yes, Martin, thank you very much. Remember to always rotate your water in packages and keep it in a climate area. Yep, climate controlled area. Yes, here's another thing why you need to consider if you live on the coast that seawater can mix in with fresh water sometimes. So yes, you have to be mindful of that, especially now when people had to deal with on the hurricanes and stuff. Like I was seeing a lot on YouTube. It would say South Carolina becomes the ocean, Miami becomes the ocean. Whatever some of the other places, becomes the ocean. I thought that was like the theme this year for this hurricane. Uh-oh. Big's Prep said when she went through the pantry last month, she had a jar that came unsealed. I think you shared that on a video, didn't you? I don't remember, but that is scary. That is scary. I think that's one of the biggest things I'm worried about when it comes to canning is getting stuff in there and then the seal is gonna bust and I'll be like, I don't know, I will feel like such a failure. Oh my goodness. All right. Thanks Prepping by Faith for coming and helping to mod tonight. I hope you have a good evening. Speaking of testing gear, try that waterproof stuff like 72 hours plus at the bottom. Okay, hold on. At the bottom of a full gallon of got what you're saying. Yes. Yes. Is if it says it's waterproof, test it. So before you get into the situation. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what do we have? Some of the comments on here. Someone on the comments on this water, what are we talking about here? The question was, how much water do you have stored? And a godly home said, I store about a week's worth. That's easy access. Then after that, I have to pull it up from my old hand dug well with a bucket, which we've done many times during power outages. Um, Kim's Rural Life said it can only store so much. I have several different types of water filtration if needed. That's awesome. And then we had little smarty pants here. I keep a life straw by the toilet. So I don't like okay. I don't know what I think about that. So so anyway, um all right. So let's move on to the next question. And whoops, went too far. The next question, how many options do you have to boil water, or if you're from the South, boil water, to cook a meal if the power goes out? All right, so we had 86% said they had two or more options to boil water, and 14% said they had one option. And that is awesome. Everybody said I had zero responses to no backup options, and that's awesome. So we have some people that said they had a gas grill, a Coleman camp stove, and a wood stove. They're set. Um, let's see. This BNMJ Noodles said, I should just call you Noodles, okay? So Noodles123 says that they learned that the gas stove will work if I turn it on and use my grill lighter. So you had an experience because you had a power outage and you had an experience and you learned something there, and that's awesome. Uncle Al said, think of thermos bottle to hold hot water for later use. I use what we're trying to do here in my house is to actually we'll brew a pot of coffee and then put it into a carafe so we can turn the coffee pot off. And that's something else we're learning. This is a side conversation about electricity as we were talking about electric bill and coming into like heat because right now we're chilly because we've had a cold front move in and we've got down into the low 40s. Um, and I know some of y'all are like, oh please, I get lower than that. That's okay. This is our first chill of the season. And I'm just like, whoo, I'm a little chilly. So I'm having to wear extra layers and we're thinking about, okay, when do we want to turn the heat on? Like what's going to be our point where we're going to turn heat on? And so we're already thinking about ways that we can save the power by unplugging appliances and doing things like that. So anyway, yeah, that just reminded me, put hot water in to use for later, put it in a really good thermos or a good carafe. Solar hot water heater. Someone says they have a barbecue grill, wood stove, rocket stove. We have one of those, and a Coleman camp stove, and charcoal, fire, propane, butane, electric. So yeah, these are all good side options to have for boiling water, cooking. Of course, we need that as well. Let's see. So I'm going to move on to the next one, and that is how prepared are you for a power outage? And so here's something that's recently happened. We have lots of people without power. And so we have the results of the poll. Plenty of batteries, generator, or solar options ready to go. We had 44% respond with that answer, that they have lots of options. We had 53 respond with, I have some batteries and extra flashlights. So that's good. And then this is just kind of a funny, I'll just use my phone light, but 2% responded with that. So if that is you, put the phone away and get some batteries and a flashlight. Oh goodness. Hey, I just saw Linda's Prepper Kitchen. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. I'm glad you are here tonight. Hope you are doing well. So we've had people in the comments say they had candles, batteries, flashlights, kerosene lamps. That's good. Some people said they have lots of flashlights, candles, lanterns. Uncle Al said he had wooden torches. Tiki torches, maybe. This person, A Godly Home, says that we had at least one power outage a week in the winter. Shoo-wee. So always be prepared. Generators and solar are nice, but not necessary. To each their own, right? Everybody's different. Let's see. Yeah, a phone light. Yeah, if that was you, I'm gonna have to go have a chat with you. Put the phone down and go get some batteries. Okay, okay. Oh, let's see. Okay, so LG, I just popped on here and saw LG say if you can if you can use a rocket stove indoors. What do you guys say? I'm not one for using fire indoors, but I understand that maybe you have a garage and you can use it toward the edge of your garage. But what do you all say? Little House says that she has power outages on a regular basis in the winter. Oh, you poor thing. We used to live in a house about 20 years ago. We lived in a house where in a section or in a gated community when we first moved to this area, and we did have a regular power that would last anywhere from an hour to a whole day on the regular. So I get it. So, Michelle, you said that you don't have power, so you have lots of lighting options. Do you not have power currently, or what is going on here? Okay, Rita says I've used one in my fireplace. That's a good one. Good way. Wood stove. So you can cook on your wood stove then, little house. Hey, storms, radios, and cats. Whoop whoop. Howdy howdy. Welcome to the chat. Oh, Michelle, you live off grid. Oh, duh. Oh my gosh. See, I should not assume things, you guys. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh yes, I have a battery powered light stick to wall and bathroom. Okay, I got what you're saying. I have one in a closet, and so it's motion censored. So when I go in there and go in there and whatever, when I open that door, I need to go in that little closet. It lights up. So yeah, those are good to have too. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're a little under the weather. Storms and radios. We want you to feel better soon. Yes, creative redundancy, power outage, having lights ready in like a washroom is useful. Yeah. I know I was watching a video from Bouger Prepper and she had lots of lights that were motion censored. Then they were like you would stick up on the inside of a cabinet, and when she opened the cabinet door or a closet door, they would light up. So like if you have, a laundry area like we do, and I have like you can have a tap light in there, or you can have something that sticks to the wall, and then you can either just tap it or wave your hand in front of it and the light comes on. So those are very, very handy. Oh, okay. LG said earlier that you don't have a backup method to boil water and was considering a power bank with electric kettle or electric hot plate. Yes, actually, you know what? I have a video to upload because I was using the Sunmaki um oh my gosh, what's it called? I wanna say it's convection. It's what I used to cook when we had a power outage and I plugged into our EcoFlow Delta battery, and I plugged that in there, and I cooked a meal for my family, and, um, that's exactly what we did. It was we had a power bank, and then I had an electric kettle, and I wanted to test how long it would take to boil a kettle of water, and, it took about 7 minutes, but anyway, but yeah, that's a good considering that would be excellent right there because then you could cook inside your house and you wouldn't have to be outside, you wouldn't have to worry about the weather. And this could be another option for you to do that and it wouldn't draw attention to, making whatever it is that you're making and all the good smells are going through the neighborhood. Thanks for being here. The Big's prep. Time to take Tater to bed. Night night, Tater. All right, Linda's Prepper Kitchen. If you have your power outage in the winter, you need to make sure that you have plastic wrap to put over windows. Very good. To prevent drafts from coming in. Also, lots and lots of blankets and lots of clothes. Yes, blankets. I just located all of our blankets and I washed them. I didn't realize we had so many blankets. Whoo! But yeah, we have nice heavy blankets. My son just got another blanket and put it on his bed. We've been trying to keep the heat down so that we don't have to run it so much. So, very good tips, Linda. Thank you. And also, thank you to Van City Prepper and any of the other mods in here, anybody else that's sharing the channels. I love that. Again, y'all go watch other people's videos and go support them if you can. One person I didn't see on here tonight was Lori, and I hope she's doing okay. If you want to go to Lori's, oh good grief, what is her channel? Lori's pantry kitchen. I think y'all know who I'm talking about. She's down in Florida. And she's having a rough time. She had some damage done to her house, and so you can help her by going to her channel and letting some ads run through on, like, letting a playlist go and letting some ads run through. You can help her that way, and she might actually have another way that you can help her, directly if you're so led to do that. Okay, Noodles. Hello, Noodles. I have this crazy fire machine where you hook it up to gas. It's my dad's, and he uses it in the wintertime in the living room. If people saw, they'd think we were crazy, but it warms the room up quick. Does anybody know what this is called? Is there, like, an actual name for this? Excuse me. I have a tickle. I think my throat is just dry. It sounds very interesting, though. You hook it up to gas. A fire machine? Huh. Anyway. Good. Make sure you have plenty of wood. Solar power light bulbs? Absolutely. That's nice too. Y'all can go to Dollar Tree and get those little the little stakes that you can put in the ground that have the little lights, like the little garden stakes. You can actually take those. I don't have any up here. But you can actually take those lights. I think everybody's been getting those little solar powered lights. Okay. And if they have the stick that goes in the ground, but then they have the little light and then they have a little top on it. If you pull the stick out from the light, you can do so many things with that. This is where creative redundancy needs to be creative and show us some ideas. But I have some crafty ideas that I was going to do with those lights. If you pull it apart, and then you can actually stick the light part into, like, a mason jar, through the lit. You can do all kinds of stuff where you can just make the light, stick it into something. It would, like, shine a little bit brighter. And I've seen people make chandeliers with these things. Oh my gosh, it's like crazy. All right. What do we have here? I'm not sure if you can use a USB coffee heater for boiling. It might drain the battery bank faster too. Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised, those coffee makers, they they drain a lot of, they're like one of the bigger things to drain energy. I was really surprised, and to drain the power. Farmer Son Preppin', are you on here? Hey, welcome, welcome. And hello, Rhonda. Good to have you here this evening. Homemade soup on the stove. Storms, that's what I have. I have potato chowder on the stove, and we're just all eating whenever. And I made homemade rolls last night so we could have it. Woo! Okay, so every room in my house has battery-powered touch lights and at least one flashlight. That is awesome. Way to go on that. I really like that. Really like having the touch lights or something that will light up the room, like, as soon as you walk through it or into it. Solar floodlights, that's a good option. Something that might be motion censored too. Yeah, thrift stores are a great place to find quilts. Buy them up, you guys. Good. Wool blankets. Don't know where to, I mean, other than a thrift store, or maybe like a flea market, maybe. Maybe you've got like a Salvation Army store. Well, that's a thrift store, but something like that. Uh, I I will look into that too. Yes. Does rewatching videos and letting the ads play help? Yes. There is actually something too with YouTube. I'm not exactly sure if it's like this anymore, but, like, let's say you're watching, oh, Linda's Prepper Kitchen. She's the first one that came to my mind. Let's say you're watching her channel and you're watching how she makes ghee. And you want to write down, like, what she's doing or whatever, and then you pause the video and you go back because you need to catch what she said. There's something with that too. It had something to do with, because it's showing the video is important, but that helps with getting the video more exposure, which would eventually get her more views and things like that. But yes, letting the ads play. I don't Yeah, let the ads play. And if you know what, if you if you sign, oh gosh, I wonder how this works. I wonder if you could, if you have, I have an extra channel, and sometimes I will go and watch other people's things to give them watch time to go, and just let it play through overnight. I might let a playlist of theirs run through and just let while I'm sleeping and just let everything run on a separate channel. So that's what I do. But anyway. If I find out the name, I'll comment, but you hook it up to a gas tank and it's super loud. Huh. Sounds like a generator, but I know it's not. This phrase for fire machine sounds like a blowtorch. I know that's what I was just thinking. Heat it up. Oh, I got called out by Sassy. Come on, come on, come on, y'all. Come on, come on. Make a hole through the steak and string them with cordage and hang them up. There you go. Boom. That's all right. Just for you, creative redundancy, I'll get this video going with my little light things and I'll come up with a couple ideas and get them up there. Because I bought a bunch so that I could make like little lights with them with the mason jars. And there was all different kinds of things that I was just thinking about doing with them. And you could have solar lights. Of course, you'd have to charge them outside during the day, but then you can bring them in the evening and have light. So anyway. Yes, Van City, thank you for that. It can help a channel to choose a playlist and let it play. Absolutely. What about those immersion heaters to boil water? Has anyone ever used one of those? I I'm not even sure what that is. So hopefully some of y'all know what that is and can address that. Ooh, chicken and dumplings. Mm. I'm pretty sure it's the Craftsman air propane heater. It's kind of scary when you turn it on from the flame, but it's totally harmless. Woo! Now that's a fire. Oh, good. Yes, Rita, thank you. Wool blankets. Look at Army, Navy stores, or Sportsman's Guide for military leftovers. That is awesome. Y'all, take that tip and look there because that's a great place to have wool blankets. My mom has one. We've had it like my whole life. And that sucker is like heavy, like a weighted blanket. Oh man, did those things kept me warm at my grandma's house. Woo! Military surplus for wool blankets. Yes, 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 yes. Storms, I think I still have just a little bit of leftover from when we had Omicron. When my whole family got sick like right before Labor Day weekend, and it just went through all of us like boom, 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 boom. It's what they say. It was contagious, and we all got it, and we all had different varying degrees of severity. I had it the longest, and I just have this little tickle that left over, and plus I'm actually talking more than normal, so I think it's aggravating it. All right, let's see. Hubs has a heater that hooks up to propane. Nene says he calls it a drywall heater. Oh, yes, interesting. That's cool. All right, I'm going to move on to another question. We've been on this one for a while, but I know we tend to, we do tend to get when we're talking about power outages because, power and water are big things. All right, let's see. What's the next question I had? Okay. Do you have any way? Oh, we're going to park on this one for a while. I just know. Do you have any way to handle waste if toilets aren't flushing? Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so look at the replies on this. So 50%, I had 38 votes. Okay, we had 38 votes. 50% said I have supplies for collection, sanitation, and disposal. 34% said I plan to bag and bury. And then 16% said no, toilets always seem to be working if there was an emergency. So, this is something to really think about, you guys. Now, what we've done, my family, we're a camping family, and we've had to, with Boy Scouts and American Heritage Girls and, these things, we've had to learn um, things about having to take care of, your business, being out in the wilderness. Okay. So, we have learned how to dig cat holes, do your business and bury it. Okay. Um, So I have seen systems, and I also want to show you this. Let me see. Hopefully, I can get this up on the screen. What does this look like? Can y'all see? Whoops. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Da, da, da. There we go. Look, I found this when I was searching for stuff, and it's called Flush. Public hygiene lets us stay human. The things you find when you Google search for stuff. Okay. So this was something that I thought of that we could all learn from tonight, okay? Okay, so this says use a twin bucket emergency toilet. Keep your pee separate from your poo. Keep each in a bucket with a cover. Then you guys, I've learned so much from, I don't know, this was just an accident that I happened to stumble on this. Okay, number 1 is clean. If people in your household are well, okay? That's something to know, because that's very true. It poses almost no health risk. Okay. With extra buckets and lids, you can store number 1 until it can be sprinkled on land as a nitrogen rich fertilizer. Okay. Second, the number 2 bucket is the one that contains most of the pathogens. Number 2 needs to be treated or contained until treated. But the great thing about number 2 is that it doesn't take up much space. Did you know this? Each of us produces only 4 to 10 ounces daily. We're getting personal, y'all. Okay, so cover your deposit with shredded paper, sawdust, or I don't know how to say this, coir fiber to dry it out and prepare it for treatment by composting. It takes a couple of weeks for 3 people to fill the bucket with number 2 and carbon material. I didn't know any of this. What do you guys? Oh, a video just popped up from Lori. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, yeah, we have learned that water is far more important than power, and I agree on that. Um, woo, Van City, 4,600 gallon supply of water, but I buy 2 big bottles every time I go to a store. Good job. Okay, doo-doo. Farmer's son says they have an outhouse or a latrine. Cat holes, yep. Um, is Apartment Prepper on here, or is just sharing her channel? Okay. Okay, so Michelle says we don't have running water either. So for our toilet, we have a porta potty and dump it in our septic tank. Okay. Y'all, if you don't watch, let's see, it's called Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I hope you guys watch them, but if not, go to their channel, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they live totally off grid as well, and they love to teach you all how to live off grid. And he says that they poop in buckets, and I think they use that, for their farming and stuff. So that acronym is awesome. Yeah, compostable toilet. This is what I'm looking into, Rita. Um, I know, as RVers, we've looked at that as an option so that we wouldn't, have to, like if we ever had to go somewhere and we just couldn't we couldn't dump the tank anywhere, the black tanks, we were looking into compostable toilets. Van City, we aren't on the water or septic grid either. Nice. I'm so jealous. I want to go off grid. Um Nay, nay. Oh my gosh. Camping in the woods. I see where people have sit on logs, leaving logs. Please bury it. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Luggable loo. Yes. I love where you are going with this deposit. Okay, Michelle says, dilute the urine in a 10-to-1 ratio to use in the garden. Yep. I think that's kind of what they were going on the flush site. Um, yeah, leave it for a while and you basically have ammonia. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, what is this comment to creative redundancy? You responding to Nene's prepping kitchen saying 100% silk can be an option. What is that for? My potty talk. Nee, nee, nee. Oh, yeah, like, yeah, for the hospital potty chairs, yeah, that's all you could sit on the potty chair rather than a bucket, and then, like, you can see on in the picture in the, let me see if I can maybe just enlarge this a little bit, like, the can I do that? Yeah, wait, hold on. Woo! See, they actually have, like, on the poo and stuff, they have the poo bucket, they've got a little toilet seat on there, and you can also actually use a pool noodle and, slice it, lengthwise and line the bucket with it, which is what my stepdad does that and uses that bucket when he goes out fishing so that he doesn't have to keep coming to shore. He says, if you got to go to the bathroom, you use the bucket. So anyway, the pool noodles are good for that too. Um, so anyway, I just thought this was interesting right here that um just learned a little something there today. The potty talk. Yeah, and you know what, LG, whatever you guys do, oh, God help us if we ever get into this situation. I've heard so many people just not take this seriously, but if we ever were to get into a situation where we could not flush toilets anymore because our waste treatment facilities, lost generator power or something like that, people were saying that they just would just go out in their driveway and just like pee in the driveway. And I'm just like, don't do that. Are we going back to days of where people were dumping their buckets over the balcony and out the windows? No, we can't be doing that. So anyway, yeah, oh good. We learned from Doc and Stacy too. We did the compost toilet as well that you dump in a compost pile. Yeah, it is a lot of work. I agree. And I think this is stuff that people like I need to look into this and I also need to try to talk to people in our neighborhood too about what to do because we could only do so much, you know. Um hey, the Virginia Bush crafter, right? Oh, good grief. I can't see this. This thing cuts off. Yeah. Virginia Bushcrafter, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, okay. That's the thing. This is still a clean channel, even with a potty talk. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me go back to the other one. All right, so we're gonna go back to here. Some of the comments. Uncle Al said he has a 1,000-gallon enclosed septic tank that can be pumped out after the event. So hopefully this wouldn't be a permanent situation. God help us if this was ever a permanent situation and we had to literally go back to like, the dark ages. Um all right, so let's see. I have got or oh gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. We have one more question. And then we'll be on and I'll end. But we have one more question that I had, and this has to do with cash on hand. Do you have cash on hand in case the banks are closed and ATMs aren't working? So we had 40 votes, 40 responses on this, and 68% of the people that voted said that they keep a bit on hand. Now, I don't know what a bit means. That could be, you know, anybody's definition on that. But that is good. Keeping a bit on hand, keeping, some, that's going to be different for everybody. Um, there's the 25% said I always keep a healthy stash. So I'm assuming that that's a good bit of money that you're keeping on hand. And then 8% of respondents said, nope, I hope to use credit cards. And if the ATMs aren't working, y'all, there's an issue. And if you guys watch Southern Prepper 1, he had an issue with his bank. He has one of the main banks, like Bank of America, I think. I don't remember. And he is he's withdrawing cash to do some of the renovations and things that he's doing on his property. And he had an issue with the bank when it came time to withdraw the money that he needed to give his son, actually, who's going out and buying the things that they needed to get for the renovations. So it may not be necessarily be ATMs, but it's the banks were inquiring of him, why do you need this money? What is it for? And he's like, it's my money. I want to take it out. And he took out a large enough sum that, they were giving him all kinds of grief about taking it out. So, I don't know if your bank would ever do that. Instead of going to an ATM, you could go inside. I don't know. But if an ATM is not working, there's going to be something, either a power issue is going on or there is an economic issue. And we need to be paying attention to what's going on in the news. If you guys are listening to channels like Prepping Now, Prepper Now? Yeah, Prepper Now. I know it says PN. We have Prepper Now and Pinball Prepping or Pinball Preparedness. And, they talk a lot every day about what's going on as far as financial markets. And also, the Economic Ninja is another one to listen to. And they're talking about economic things and financial things. And they're really good about just sharing on a level that you can understand. Some of the comments on this question are, Noodles says, I think it's a good check in and to remind people to think about these things, right? So there's a lot of responsibility here. Yeah. Especially if you're the one, Noodles, if you're the one that's taking a lot of the responsibility, that's gonna feel overwhelming, right? And then we can do what we can do. We do the best that we can. All right. We learn these things and we do the best that we can. Um, Stephen B says, cash is king. I also walk with a good amount. Never know when you'll suddenly need fuel and only cash is being accepted. So, this is something else that I think the Biggs Prep has mentioned in some of her videos about preparing her car. She'll prepare it for a season and keeping cash. I don't know if you have a place that you can keep it in your car. Just remember to lock your car, but keeping cash in there in case you needed it for something. Maybe you go to the store and they don't accept cards, only cash. Or maybe you go to the gas station and you can't use a card, you have to pay with cash. You got to have enough in there to at least fill up your tank, or at least to maybe be able to pay for some groceries. So, emergency stash in your car, maybe in home, in a safe place, where you might need to have it and maybe need to grab it and run with it. So, um, the Biggs Prep, she was one that commented. She says, I use a cash envelope system for gas and groceries. I do those budgets 1 month ahead. Right now, I just cracked October envelopes. First paycheck of October will fill November envelopes. That way, I always have a bit extra. I love this. And if she has that system, maybe if she comes back and listens to the rest, she had to leave. But if she comes back, listen to the rest, and we'll say, hey, please show us what you do for that. And and Uncle Al says that he also has a loaded pistol. So anyway, all right, let me look back what's here. Look up. All right, I'm backtracking a little bit. Look up the Humanure Handbook. Okay. Yes, this is what I was thinking of, creative redundancy. Look what happened to Canada when Rogers went down for a day. Rogars, is that how you say that? Some couldn't even use certain things like debit. I was paying attention to that, and certainly was taking notes and saying, okay, what would I do if that happened in my area? Okay. Nene says a bank in 2020 didn't want to give me a large deposit when we were buying supplies to build our addition. Asked for a 2-day notice. We ended up getting after we told them we'd changed banks. Yes, you know what? And Southern Prepper One said the same thing. He's just like, fine, if I'm not getting, I'm gonna take out all my money and go somewhere else. And he didn't want to do that, because especially if you've been banking with your institution for a very long time and you have a reputation with them, I'm sorry, well, yeah, a reputation, but also a relationship with them. I've had the same bank since oh my goodness, when did I come here? 1993. I've had the same bank and it's a credit union. And so I'm very thankful to have that. But they know us by name. I can call them up and they're like, they know who we are. I love that. Yeah, Nene, I got what you meant. Withdrawal. Yeah, we got you. I think we all got you. So, yeah, that's kind of scary that, we are, like, are you going to be able to walk into your bank and get a hefty withdrawal? And, let's say like, I'm just thinking, what if I needed to get 4 tires for my van? I did that back in June. I put all brand new tires. We were of course things were really going crazy in June. Gas was like almost was like $5 a gallon, and things were like, oh, you might not get tires or you might not get this kind of stuff. And so I went ahead and I needed to anyway, so it was perfect timing. I went ahead and got the 4 tires, but what if I had to pay cash for those? And that's a hefty amount of money. That would be something that I would need to have on hand to be able to pay. If cash is king and cash talks, sometimes you're going to need to have that in order to be able to get what you need. Oh no, Nene, it was a credit union. Oh no, now I'm worried. Now I want to go get my money out of my bank. Oh my gosh. All right. LG says my bank won't let me withdraw more than $12.60 per day. See what I'm talking about? They have limits. And Southern Prepper One said, he went under the maximum limit, which, I remember he said it was a hefty amount, like $9,000, but he did just enough because if it was 10,000 or more, then he was going to have to fill out paperwork and answer a whole bunch of questions. And why do you want this money and whatever? And oh, here you go. Here's just random. Yes. I recommend you get a second pair just in case you lose or break your glasses during a crisis, which we have done. And if you have your formal prescription from your eye doctor, go ahead and find these places online where you can get uh, your whole prescription. You fill it in, and you've got the measurements and all that stuff, and you can get glasses for as low as $20. We did that for my family. We went and had the eye exams, and then man, I can't remember what company it is. I'll ask my husband and figure out where we got those from. But we got sunglasses, prescription sunglasses. We got extra pairs of glasses, and they were only like $25. So yes, and if you have readers, if you're using readers, go ahead and get extra pairs of those as well to have, because you want to make sure that you can see. And sometimes people that have a prescription lens, sometimes they've actually had to use readers to actually see up close. Yeah, same here, Storms. I don't know if I can bring myself to leave my bank. Those tellers are eye candy for this single guy. My goodness. I don't know if I could, though, bring myself to leave my bank either. I don't know if I could do that. Bye, Creative Redundancy. You're probably already gone, but thank you for being here. Every Dollar Tree sells readers. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they don't have to look pretty, y'all. Okay. Walmart sells them. Dollar Tree. I don't know if Dollar General does. I've never looked for readers at Dollar General. Then again, I don't really shop there a lot unless I'm doing a challenge for Linda's Prepper Kitchen. $25 Dollar Tree challenge for prepping. Y'all, new week goes up probably tomorrow. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but yeah. All right, you guys, this was I think that was the last question I had for the poll. I think I ended with the money issue. And so yeah, these were questions, they're on my community tab. As you can see on the screen, they're under the community tab. And go through there and think about those questions, especially some of the ones for me, my big issue is toilets. And you know what? I wanted to put stuff in here about comms, communications and stuff, but all right, I can stop. Um whoops. All right. There we go. I'm back. The Virginia bushcrafter. I no longer keep There we go. I no longer keep any money in a bank. When my check is deposited, I pay all my bills from that account. My savings and spending money is in 3 different credit unions. Yes, I've heard to do that, where some people you don't have everything all in one place. You might have it in different banks, different types of banks, maybe different options, that kind of thing. So, that's a good tip there too. I've heard that. Arkman Arc Wildman. I can never say. I want to say Arkman all the time. So, welcome, Arc Wildman Survival. Yeah, like toilets, the only thing that matters, right? Yes. Like, everybody, oh my gosh, it just reminded me of something that when my kids were little, it was like, everybody poos or something. I can't remember. But yes, everybody has to like do their business every day. And so that is important. We should have something ready to go for that, ready to think about, because I mean, big cities might have the problems faster than people that might be more rural. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream, you guys. I've been on here long enough. I've taken up enough of your time, but I want y'all to have a good Sunday evening. And as we go into the week, y'all make it a great week. Okay, stay positive. Keep your focus where it should be. Keep your focus on the straight and narrow and not on all the stuff that's happening around us, okay? Keep doing the things, keep prepping, packing, and stacking. And I'm going to catch you in the next video. Y'all take care. I love you. Good night.